Bakuman episode 6 review. You know, that's how the game freaking, that's how we do. Alright. Anyways, not much really happened. I guess pretty much where episode 5 left off. They were calling to make an appointment with the editor, and the editor they got is Mr. Hattori. We don't really know much about him. We just know he's an editor. Pretty much the entire episode is them meeting the editor. And I think what it is, it kind of what I think the episode does, and what it was meant to do, is give like this, how do I put it, a realistic feel to how it feels to go in there your first time. Because Shunjin was nervous as all fuck. He was nervous just walking in the door of the damn of the Shonen Jacks. Like, you walked in there, you got those, you know, the little guards asking what he was there for. They were like, you know, we have an appointment, we want to turn in a manuscript. And then they went up to the receptionist and they had to fill out a little sheet. And Shunjin is nervous like a motherfucker. Like, Zygo's like kind of cool about it. And Zygo's like, dude, you were so nervous. It's not even fucking funny. So anyways, the funniest thing actually to me is at the end of the episode. But anyways, they sit there, they're waiting for the editor. They're kind of in their nervous pose. And Mr. Hattori comes in, they're kind of they're obviously both nervous. And Hattori's like, chill. Just calm down. You don't have to be so nervous. Just take it from him. They show the manuscript, and for the people who want to know what Shunjin's manuscript is, or who don't read the manga, or didn't see this episode yet, the manuscript is pretty much the manga they ended up making their first one anyway. This first manuscript is like the one shot. It's called like The Two Earths, and pretty much what it is, you got the story of a dude. Apparently he's saying there's two Earths. One of them is the real Earth. The other one has clones of everyone on the real Earth. And it's just testing and shit. They're just testing scenarios out on the clone Earth. And on the clone Earth, this dude's wife dies. He freaks out. He blacks out. He ends up in the real Earth with the real version of himself. He's like, what the fuck? He becomes a captive. Then you have the people who are in the same situation. They got brought there, but the investigators, they actually brought them there to study them. If they don't wipe their minds, then they're just stuck there on the real Earth at being someone else's clone, which is kind of trippy. And pretty much the whole story plays out. It's a whole bunch of, I mean, the manga, and I mean, even Mr. Hattori says that their manga is good. Pretty much what happens is that, and at least in their manga, there's like this war between the clones and the Earth. The clones win. The clone runs into his supposed wife that died, the real version of her. And then she's like, no, I'm not the real version. I'm actually a clone like you. The real version let me see you, which is what started the whole thing, because he thought he saw his wife when the first beginning of that manga started. So pretty much that's really how the one shot they did goes. Mr. Hattori's, his criticism is that it's a very original story, but it's way too fucking deep, and it feels more like a novel than a manga. For Psycho, he says he's pretty good, and he was really shocked, and he got shocked when he found out he was only been drawing for 2 months. But they say he still needs some work on it. He still needs to create a style that's his own style. And they get an email address, so yeah, even though Mr. Hattori is like, don't be too hyped. Unless I give you a phone number, you're still kind of like alright with me. You gotta be kind of really good to get the phone number. They just got an email address. Mr. Hattori's talking to one of his buddies, talking about just how they interest him, and he also said he wanted to submit that the one shot they did for like their little monthly contest, so they did that too. Pretty much that's the entirety of the episode. Is just them doing that. It's more fun to watch than the review. It was a decent episode. At the end of the episode, they talk about Azuki. They show Azuki in, like, I guess some type of voice acting class, because she's like repeating. There's like her and a group of people that are like repeating phrases and shit. So I think it's a voice acting class. And then she overhears a couple of Psycho's friends, you know, the ones you see in the first few episodes that don't actually have names. They're always talking about when to watch movies and X-rated movies and shit. Talking about how he hung out with Shunjin all the entire break and all this other crap. And she's like, yay, Psycho's doing well. And the end of the episode is funny as fuck for one obvious reason. Their teacher decides, you know what, we're going to pair we're gonna put boys and girls next to each other. No, they're gonna put their desks together because you know they're originally their desks weren't together. They're gonna put the desks together. So he's like paired up. So like each person is paired up with another person. Now you already know what the irony is. Now the promise they made is about not talking to each other, at least not like verbally, like having any physical time with each other until they complete their dreams. Ironically, ironically, they get paired up together in their seating. So he's like right next to his girlfriend. That he has made an agreement with his girlfriend to not talk to each other for like ever until they reach their goals. Until he gets his manga turned into an anime, and she becomes a famous voice actress, one of the characters in the anime, which I just thought was hilarious. And what makes it even funnier is that Shunjin's in the back, and he's just like cracking up his hands on the disc. He's like, it's killing him. He's a dick. But I thought that shit was funny. You see Shunjin, it's just like, oh crap. The boyfriend and the girlfriend are sitting next to each other. She's just like, you fucker. He's just laughing in the back. He's just like, his hands on the desk. He's laughing so hard he's beating on the desk. And I thought that shit was really funny. And other than that, that's pretty much that happens. Episode 6 is kind of, there's not a lot to go on, so the review on this is kind of shortish, y'all. It's Sunday. Don't ask me what the fuck I'm doing. Okay, I need to stop. Anyways, I look forward to episode. God damn! How did I just black out on one episode? I watched episode 6, so this next one is episode 7, right? Yeah, it's episode 7. I've been smoking weed too much. I'm looking forward to episode 7. I think episode 7 is gonna have more to do with how they're gonna deal with this classmate shit, considering the fact they're right next to each other, and they're kind of considering the fact that they're both shy. Fucking Windows Live, and considering the fact that they're both shy, how they're gonna be able to interact with each other without interacting with each other. They need to exchange the fucking emails. I don't know, this romance. I think the only thing I really don't like right now is the romance, the way they have it set up, where it's like we can't get married or date and shit. Like it kind of feels random just because they can't get to know each other through this. We're not gonna talk or get married and shit until I complete a dream. Like when you get married, it's gonna be like one of the most awkward weddings, but at the same time, it's kind of like this true love shit. Like you know what you know about a person just by looking them in their eyes and shit like that and tuning. Like I said in my last review. So that's the only thing I really don't like is just this romance shit playing out. Like I think Shunjin and Kaya will be better. Their romance I'll probably prefer because Azuki's and Saigo's are kind of like we connect heart-wise, and we'll never talk, but we connect heart-wise. I'm pretty sure Shunjin's will probably end up that way too, where he'll say something like when they finally do start confessing their feelings about when he asks her to marry her and shit, it's gonna turn into that whole I'm not gonna marry you until we're not gonna talk or we're not gonna get married until we complete our dreams and shit like that. We don't know what Kaya wants. And that's what I kind of want more of. It's just more of the Kaya Shunjin interaction because we don't know that much about Kaya. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh god, how did I black out? I forgot to mention they mentioned Shunjin's backstory a little bit about how he's so smart. Some shit happened with his dad. And the reason why his mom is so chill about him is because when he was like in 5th grade, his mom was like, you have to avenge your father, because I'm assuming his father got fired from a bank. And then Shunjin thought, and apparently it was like his mother wanted him to just study so he could work a desk job like his dad did before his dad got fired. And he's like, fuck that. I decide my own destiny. And he said this when he was in the 5th grade, and his mom stopped being a dick about it. Which I think, worked out better. Like, that's one of those parental situations that actually works out better. Because sometimes that shit doesn't even work at all. It's just like, study. It's because, I want the freedom to choose my own destiny. I want to grab it with my own 2 hands. And I want to shake it and bring the fucking world crashing upon the little minions' heads. Okay, so I'm being stupid. This is what happens when you finish Gurren Lagann and then you watch other episodes of other series. Don't do that, folks. Take it from me. Anyways, I'm getting us totally off track. I will see you guys later for episode 7, and I'm gonna come up with an ending for these two. Pikachu is apparently my ending for Pokemon, so for these, I'm gonna say life's a gameplay to win, and get your manga on. Yeah, it's lame. Keep on drawing? No, that seems stupid. Come on, we can do better than that. I got it. Put your manga where your mouth is.